The JuRY podcast is brought to you, as always, by patreon.com/JuRY. Support the show right there. And if you want 5 days a week to receive an email with the best political insights you have ever heard, well, there's only one place to get it. tinyletter.com/Justin Robert Young. It is the politics daily email, Monday through Friday. Folks, politics is a circus, and I'm the clown drinking in the parking lot. Go ahead and get it in your life 5 days a week. But enough talking about how we support the show. What do you say we just do the damn thing?
Ugly ain't the half, look at you. Well, you got blue teeth and you only got 2 teeth, but I kinda like to see you smile. And it appears that over the years you've turned into a big old steaming pile. And she said, yeah, I know I ain't no supermodel. I said, you ain't a hand model, baby, but that's fine. By most people's standards, but you're alright by mine.
Whoa, welcome back. Oh, it's been a long day. Been a long day that has very technically stretched several days. But if I'm going to canonically string them together, here is how things have gone for me. I woke up at the Hotel Metropolitan right above Tokyo Station. We had breakfast. We decided to venture out, and we had a few last-minute knick-knack shopping that we had to get done. And by knick-knack, I mean booze. Needed to bring back that whiskey. Need to bring back that gin. Went to a 7-Eleven. Bought a fifth of Suntory whiskey for a bachelor party I'm going to in a few weeks. Walk the Imperial Palace, the gardens there. Lovely. I can only imagine how gorgeous they are in the spring. And it's at that point that we decided to go to Haneda Airport in Tokyo. Now, this was several hours before our flight. We literally sat in this lounge, the A&A Lounge in Haneda Airport, for 6 hours, 6 or 7 hours. Got some good work in. Got some good Hearthstone in. Watched the new Dave Chappelle special. Nice. And eventually got on our flight. It's at this point that I need to tell you guys a little backstory. Number one, we decided to go to Japan. It was not exactly a cost-conscious issue. We understood that we were going to spend a fair amount of money. But since this was a last-minute trip, we wanted to cut corners where we could. So imagine, to our surprise, when we are booking these flights, that we find a return trip which is not the normal thousands of dollars each way. I think you'd be lucky to find a trip from San Francisco to Japan at anywhere between if it's sub 1,000, you're doing great. If it's in the mid 1,000 to 2,000, that's probably about where it is. If you are over 2,000, you're probably paying a lot, or it's a very, very popular time of the year. But on our way back, we saw a number that we thought had to be too good to be true. We saw the number 200 per person. That means that for whatever we spend going out there, which was a little bit over 1,000, coming back, we had flights for $200 a person. Ladies and germs, there are times where I can't get to LA for $200. I am going around the world, around the world. And this is through United. This is not through Air Who Gives a Shit. A United flight. Oh, so choice. Now, as you listen to me talking, I'm sure that you are in your car or in your home or walking the streets saying, Justin, that has to be too good to be true. And indeed, friends, it was. It was too good to be true. The flight would entail, all told, 24 hours of travel. It would do this because we would fly from Tokyo to Hong Kong, and then from Hong Kong to San Francisco. If you are unfamiliar with Asian geography, the flight from Tokyo to Hong Kong is 5 hours. So add 5 plus at least another 4, because you got to go back west once you've gone east, to the already anywhere between 9 and 11 hour flight from Tokyo to San Francisco. This is compounded by the fact that we also have to sit in Hong Kong for 5.5 hours. So when I tell you that we got to the airport 6 hours ahead of time because we were just vacationed out, to be honest with you. We just kind of wanted to have a quiet place to sit down. Add 6 hours to the 24 hours that we had to go. And so it was 1 o'clock in the morning, Tokyo time. We begin flying to Hong Kong. The ANA flight that we were on was an older plane. It was almost quaint if it weren't so goddamn rickety. We are on the red eye to Hong Kong. Get to Hong Kong. We're there before the United Club opens. We got to sit on the floor for 20 minutes. We get in the United Club. We're sitting there. They have a shower. We each decide that we are going to take a shower before realizing that either of us have clean clothes. So we just put on our dirty clothes. At least it's some kind of shower. Now, mind you, aside from sleeping on the plane, this is all one day to me. I'm still living this day. We then get on the flight in Hong Kong. We then take the 11-hour flight back to San Francisco. And now I am here speaking with you. It has been a long day, and we are very excited. Apparently I'm Venom now. I am very excited to end it with you guys for not only this show, but also Night Attack afterward. There's been some question in our live Twitch chat room. Of course, you can watch us, twitch.tv/JustinRYoung every day, about how the jet lag is affecting me. Now, it comes and goes, as any international traveler will tell you. However, I will guarantee you this. If we are to see some loopy results, it will be here on this show where I have no co-host, and it is bad etiquette in podcasting, how the vast majority of people listen to this program, to literally just rely on the chat for topics. I've got stuff to talk about, but just to give you all fair warning, if things get weird, it is because I am going on close to hour 40 of a day that began here. Not here. Began in Tokyo Station. So, I got a few good Japan stories. Good to be back, by the way. Love Japan and Tokyo. An amazing city, an amazing culture. Great trains. Oh, amazing trains. A lot of people tell you that these trains are like pretty impressive. Fucking like don't believe them until you go see them your goddamn self. They are just the best. Very, very quick. In fact, I learned a very important lesson about the difference between American and Japanese efficiency. Me and Ash were hanging out with a friend of ours, Tim, and we were going from Shibuya. That's where the big scramble is, right? The big crosswalk where everybody, goes in their different directions. To Shinjuku, which is a big, fun, lively area of Tokyo. So we think that this is the last train that goes, because at some point the trains end, like after midnight. It's about midnight as we walk up there. We think this is the last train. Me and Ash get on the train, all right? Tim gets jostled around a little bit and does a move that I have seen a million times. Anywhere that public transit is a way of life, there is this move. And I want all my New Yorkers, all my Chicagoans, my Boston people, my San Francisco people, everywhere in the U.S. that has ubiquitous daily public transportation. You are on the train if you put your arm through the doors. Once you've caught your arm through the doors, that's pretty much it. Someone's going to look down and be like, oh, you motherfucker, like, and open the doors. That's it. Before I get to what happened to Tim's arm, let me explain to you guys that the delays in the Japanese trains are measured in centiseconds. These motherfuckers are on time. On time. If you are over, I think it was like 18 seconds, you are considered a failure. How much is this culturally ingrained into the Japanese people? At arcades, they have games where you run the trains, and if you are over 18 seconds, not minutes, seconds, you have failed. Flashback to Tim with his arm through the door. A man comes over. He removes Tim's arm, and the train leaves. That's it. They don't give a fuck whether or not that's the last train. You are out. And I will guarantee you that it is literally only because they don't want to have somebody come and clean up the blood that they don't just move that train out without your hand being removed. Now, luckily, there was one more train after that, so Tim wasn't screwed. But immediately, I flashed back to every time I have seen somebody in a major American metropolitan area pull that move. And I realized, oh, those trains are late as shit. I mean, listen, there is something to be said for that level of efficiency. They will get there by any means necessary. That is a fact. All right. I got some more Japan stories here for you. One of the things that we did up there was go out to Nagano. You might remember Nagano as the host of the Winter Olympics. It's a lovely little prefecture north of Tokyo, technically northwest. Very snowy. It's where we went to go see the snow monkeys. If you check my Instagram, I got a bunch of pictures of the snow monkeys. It was adorable. In fact, if you check our Twitch channel, my Twitch channel, I don't know why I'm making myself a collective today. You can see I did a live stream from the snow monkeys. It was pretty good, and I'll tell you what, I was really proud of the MiFi held up. I think we were streaming in 720. It's pretty dope. But the night before we went to the Snow Monkeys, we were just hanging out of this city, which I can't. The name of the city escapes me right now. But it's tiny. It feels kind of like a ski town, like a Vale or something like that, right? There's only a few restaurants and a few bars. We walk into one bar. Oh, here's a little Japanese thing. Number one, if you go to a bar, there's not a lot of like bars the way we think of them here in America. Meaning, you don't just walk up, sit down at a thing, and they'll just serve you drinks. A lot of bars, quote unquote, are restaurants as well, or at least they have bar food, and you are kind of not expected to eat, but if you don't eat, it's a weird thing. So we went to this bar, this first bar we go to. We sit down. We each order a drink. She brings the drink. She comes over to take our food order. We're like, you want to? We actually just ate a little bit earlier, so we're good. She's like, nothing? Yeah, nothing. She goes back behind. We're literally at kind of a lunch countertop. Goes back behind to the cook, who's also the man in charge, basically. And they start having a very animated Japanese conversation. Guy next to us happens to also speak English. He's like, yeah, they're mystified why you're not ordering. It's just a thing. It's a thing you do there. Another place that this happened is the bar we went to afterward. Except this one was also a karaoke bar. And initially, there's a bunch of old-ass Japanese people in there. Goddamn if they don't speak a lick of English. They're singing some old-ass Japanese songs. And after they're kind of done, we decide to poke our heads in and start putting in some American songs, singing them. They are loving it. Clapping along, having a great time. I think this is as good as this night is going to get. Us impressing these old Japanese people, having the time of our lives. Oh my God, what a country. But eventually they leave. And now it's a private karaoke stall for me and Ashley until two more girls walk in. They're speaking English. Two chicks from Vancouver. Cool ladies. Very laid back. But at a certain point, it becomes clear that they're a little younger than us. We find this out the hard way. Because it's three girls and one guy. And Ashley is very much in the mood to sing some girl power anthems, right? Because we're all having a good time. So Ashley puts on No Doubt's I'm Just a Girl. I believe that was probably the first big breakout single for No Doubt. She's expecting the other girls to want to join in because it's a popular song. To which they say, I don't know that one. And they're a little snide about it, too. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe that one didn't make its way up to Canada. I know for sure, here's an iconic song that everybody knows, and it's a big sing-along song, because I'm trying to get them involved in it, too. So I put on You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party by the Beastie Boys. Now, an older song than No Doubt's I'm Just a Girl, to be sure, but, I was too young for Fight for Your Right to Party, and I know what Fight for Your Right to Party is. So surely it's something that has stood the test of time. No. And now they feel more comfortable, I guess, razzing me than razzing Ashley. They start lighting into me about how old I am. How would you expect us to know this? How long ago did this come out? We're 20-something. Blah, blah, blah. I got age shamed. Age shamed at karaoke. I mean, what the fuck? Just because I don't know one of the 7 songs that have been fucking put on radio because all the radio stations are owned by 2 people now. Is that the only selection that we have for the rest of the world? I'm getting a little perturbed. So I'm getting real eyebally on everything that they're picking. And a lot of it's shit I've heard, pop culture stuff of the modern era. That What Do You Mean song. What do you mean? Which, by the way, a troubling song in the Me Too era. What do you mean? Until one of them slipped up. One of them slipped up. Because all of a sudden, Big Jim says, welcome to my world with Billy Joel. Oh, no, I sang Billy Joel anyway. I didn't give a fuck. I can sing Billy Joel, so I sang Billy Joel. One of them puts on Joni Mitchell! Joni fucking Mitchell! I'm like, you're going to get up my butt? You're going to get up my wife's butt about Gwen Stefani? Gwen Stefani's still on fucking television. And you want to play Joni Mitchell? Joni fucking Mitchell? And she starts crooning. Ooh, whatever fucking Joni Mitchell song it is. I'm not saying that Joni Mitchell isn't anything more than an amazing songbird, the likes of which defined a very generation. I'm saying that shit is ancient. How can you be aware of Joni Mitchell and not aware of literally anything else? And don't give me this, they're Canadian shit, okay? Don't give me this, they're Canadian, okay? Because fucking Nicki Minaj isn't Canadian, and they sure fucking knew Anaconda. And even if she's Canadian and they print fucking Joni Mitchell lyrics on every one of their crazy Monopoly bills, then at least understand that you have an appreciation for music that has come before you. Understand that you might not know every song, but open up your goddamn ears, you kids, to let in something of a culture gone by. Icky in the chat room says, who's Gwen Step on me? Oh, you old man shakes fists at clouds. I couldn't believe it. I've never felt older in my entire life than just getting a bunch of blank stares with, all the other. They didn't know the Spice Girls, though. That apparently has transcended time and space. But not no doubt. Shit, you're right. I should have went for more Canadian artists. I should have just done like, the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Is that Canadian? I don't know. Rush. I could have done Rush. Yeah, that's it. All right. Couple more things I learned. Number one. In Japan, everybody smokes. Everybody. A lot of smoking. Love it. Oh, my God. Fucking do a backflip for smoking over there. Now, here's the rub. It's Bizarro, USA. Oh, cigarettes, by the way. Not like what's legal here in California as I landed. But no. Cigarettes. They love them. But it's Bizarro US. This is something I did not know. You are not allowed to smoke outdoors. But you are allowed to smoke indoors. That means that every restaurant, every bar has smoking in it. Now, I'm not a cigarette smoker. I like a cigar here and again, but not a regular smoker of any variety. But I'd be lying to you if there was some element of how I was raised that does not appreciate a smoky bar. My wife is the opposite. She's very sensitive because she has asthma. Now, Ghost Knocked in the Twitch chat brings up something very interesting. Do pregnant women just stay outside and at home for 9 months? I don't know about pregnancy, but there was something that I immediately had to look up. Because since I was a wee lad, have I heard that not only does smoking cause lung cancer, this is medically indisputable, but that secondhand smoke was a tremendous damage to our culture. And that our lung cancer rates that we have here in the United States were based largely on that. Now, in Japan, I assumed that their lung cancer rates would be through the roof. This would be something that happened all the time. And was I shocked, I tell you, to find that the opposite was true. I read to you now from this article in verywell.com, the Japanese lung cancer smoking paradox. Is it true that Japanese men smoke more but get lung cancer less frequently? This isn't a myth. It's true. But why? Now, I'm not going to read this whole article. But the stats are there. Here, look at this. In the United States, the odds ratio of lung cancer in male smokers versus non-smokers is 40-1. In other words, male smokers were 40 times more likely to develop lung cancer than non-male smokers in the United States. The odds ratio in Japan was 6-3. 6-3. In other words, male smokers in Japan were only 6 to 3 times likely to develop lung cancer as male non-smokers in Japan. So, here is the reasoning. Well, A, nobody knows the reasoning. Nobody has any idea what the reasoning. There's lower levels of cancer-causing ingredients in cigarettes is one possibility. A genetic factor. Apparently, lower alcohol consumption in Japanese males. Lower fat intake. Higher efficiency of Japanese cigarette filters. An earlier age of smoking in American men. And lifestyle factors other than smoking, including exercise, that Japanese men get more of. And American men apparently get less of. This became my great white whale almost immediately. I had scared my wife because my previous great white whale that I wanted to ask everybody in Japan about was Japanese racism. I'm fascinated by Japanese racism. I've read about it. I wanted to just literally sit down to everybody at bars and just ask, so like what races are you like not a fan of? Who do you not like? And then I just start naming Koreans, Chinese, whites, blacks, Hispanics. Just have a little check marks. Because I've heard that the Japanese are really racist. I didn't. I restrained myself. Also, apparently, that's not something that you do at bars. You generally by the way, listen, the Fox in our chat room says, wouldn't Chinese and Korean fall under Asian and not be separate races? Not to the Chinese. And Icky points out, are you saying that if I am more racist, I won't get cancer? Maybe. But I didn't. I restrained myself. I didn't ask about racism. But I did ask about lung cancer. I am blown away that this is a statistic. And I'm asking anybody in my audience, if you have also been fascinated by this, if you have known about it, if you have any information, you have to email me, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. Now, I didn't get a chance to get super lit and talk to people about random stuff, but there were a couple nights in an amazing place called Golden Guy. Golden Guy is in Shinjuku, Golden Gai, where we did get super smashed and talk to Japanese folks, largely via Google Translate. But I'll tell you this. There were two of them that I love the most. They were so good. This was 2 nights ago, I guess. We're in Golden Guy. We're drinking. One of the guys is wearing a Portland Trail Blazers a warm-up jacket. And we get to talking about America and basketball, and I let him know that the Golden State Warriors, another famous basketball team that if he's wearing a Trailblazers thing, he might be aware of, and he did, are from Oakland. And so it became a thing where whenever, periodically, the conversation would kind of go dead, and he would just start yelling, Oakland! So I think this is the video right here that I can play for you guys. Oakland! And then he also started singing the Bruiser Brody theme song, Which Bruiser Brody, an old American wrestler who apparently was a legend in Japan. And that was the other thing that he kept saying over and over again was he would say either Oakland or Bruiser Brody, Bruiser Brody. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ah, amazing. Mwah. Love those guys. I didn't get their name. We had a great time. We're following each other on Twitter. It was amazing. I think that's it. If you have any other questions about Japan, I'll be taking them for the next couple weeks. Go ahead and send me any question you might have about Japan. JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. All right, what time are we at? Man, this show flew by. Let's go ahead and get into your emails. JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. Again, JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. We begin with Corey Towns. Corey. Let's just say Corey. Let's not give out his last name. Saw this article and thought you could find some value in it. This is an NPR article entitled From Bay to Submarining, the Lingo of Online Dating. And it just goes through all the ridiculous terms that we have loved to chronicle here. So let's see if we don't have, there's one that we don't know. Bay, of course. Breadcrumbing, we know that's to send flirty texts. Botting. Okay, that's just a regular ass bot. Catfishing. Cuffing season. This is something that I need everybody to give me a yay or nay. Do you know what cuffing season is? Are you down with the term cuffing season? Effectively, it's just when people who are normally single wind up getting into a relationship during the cold months. So it's literally like you just want a significant other so you can snuggle while it's cold. This seems like more of a Northeast phenomenon. Deep like. Okay, I didn't know this. Deep like is when you scroll through your crush's social media profiles, like very, very old photos, and then like them. Oh, gotcha. So this is when they're skeezing on your Instagram or your Facebook. DTR, an acronym for define the relationship, and that's the important talk. That's the what are we talk. Ghosting, got it. Hat fishing. IRL, meet cute. That's not even a new thing. That's like an old terminology, right? A meet cute. Swipe right, sliding into the DMs, and submarining. Yeah, I guess we're probably the only one that I wouldn't know off the top. I did not know hat fishing. Hat fishing is a specific form of catfishing in which a user, in an effort to hide their hair or lack thereof, wears a hat in every picture that they have online. I mean, that's not really catfishing, right? Like, you're not trying to fuck that scalp. Like, it's me. It's how I look with a hat. I'm going to wear a hat a lot, just so you know. I'm going to, like, if there's an unfortunate situation going on up there, then you would expect somebody to add a fine chapeau to bring their whole look together. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Amber wrote in, I was Googling some benign health questions about protein quantities in legumes when I came across this article. PSA, maybe don't clean your vagina with a cucumber. I read again. PSA, maybe don't clean your vagina with a cucumber. Amber goes on. Do people do that It sounds like someone got caught masturbating and just said, "Oh, haven't you heard?" Dating trends are one thing, but what about health trends? I don't think that this one is even a thing. I scroll down and here's an additional story about using products for facials with semen and bird shit in it. What sick Craigslist fuck came up with a semen-based facial treatment? And then says this email is far more blue than I initially imagined. I had actually heard, and this was back in high school, that like cum was good for your skin. A lady told me that. It wasn't it was in a fairly clinical context, so it wasn't like cum in my face. But I think that is something that I've heard more than cleaning your vagina with a cucumber. I mean, at least I think she's right. Somebody got caught fucking with a halfway cuke. Was like, hey, no, I just got this shit from Gwyneth Paltrow. Alex wrote in that I should do a history and fallout of Nipplegate from Super Bowl 30. Or no, 30, 30, whatever it was. Yeah. No, I'll tell you what. If people are into it, I would love to do a long form tear into the Nipplegate phenomenon. That sounds good to me. Let's see. My email is just an absolute disaster. All right. That'll about wrap it up. We have a bit of a short episode today. Thank you guys so much for being a part of it. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Sorry. This lack of energy has sapped. It's sapped my will to go 50 minutes. Unless, wait a minute. All right. If I can get any, we're going to do rapid fire here from the chat. I know that I said that I wasn't able to lean on the chat. Well, guess what? I'm actually going to lean on the chat here. Go ahead and hit me. Well, actually, no. I got one more. Wait, no. I think I already told it on the last episode about my buddy Nick and the weeb thing. So any question, we'll take one or two questions here in the chat if we got it. Otherwise, I'd like to remind you guys, JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com is where you can send in your email. Make sure you put jury in the subject line. And we will get to all that next week. Robo Jeff says, how many vending machines did you use in Japan? I actually used a fair amount of it. The pain in the ass about, here's another cultural thing in Japan. Apparently, walking with a drink is a problem. They don't like it. It's against the rules because they don't have a ton. Place is clean as shit, by the way, but they don't have any trash cans anywhere. So it's not reasonable for you to just start drinking and then not find a trash can. So it's almost implied that you're halfway to littering if you're walking with an open drink. So I did get a lot of stuff. Here's the best part about Japanese vending machines. Hot drinks. You get these tiny little coffees, like kind of Red Bull sized, but they're fucking piping hot, and they're great. You can just chug them in like 2 sips. Hot coffee in your belly. Premium Boss. That was my favorite. It has Tommy Lee Jones on the advertisement. Premium Boss coffee. And they got all sorts of different ones. The rainbow can's really good. In fact, that's my pick. The next time you're in Tokyo, get a rainbow can Premium Boss. It's the tits. Icky writes, what kind of pizza did you have out there? Here's something else that I learned. Japanese love the shit out of Italian food. Easily the most common restaurant with ethnic cooking was Italian. Had no idea. I would have thought maybe Indian or something else, even more than Thai, to be honest with you. I saw more Italian restaurants than Thai restaurants or Chinese restaurants. I mean, it's good-ass food. I don't know. I love Italian. I didn't eat a ton of it there, but I saw a shit ton of them. Dr. Devious writes, what happens if you are outright rude and someone gives you the stink eye and asks them what they're looking at, sort of New York style? Well, you can see that in action by watching the Logan Paul videos. Because while we were in Japan, the irascible Logan Paul was as well creating YouTube videos where he was being very disrespectful in very sensitive places. And you will see the limits of the, barely simmering quiet rage of the Japanese people as this big, dumb round eye goes lumbering through shrines and downtown areas. And by the way, it ended with him going to a forest where people are famous to kill themselves, finding a dead body, and shooting a YouTube video around it. It was very disrespectful. And actually, listen to the next Unfriend Me show with me and Scott Johnson. We're going to do a whole thing on it covering not only Logan Paul, but also the history of prank videos on YouTube and prank videos in general, as well as the history of that forest and Japanese culture. It's going to be a great episode. Go ahead and check that out. If you're not already subscribed to Unfriend Me show, then please go ahead and do it now. All right. That is about it for me. Ladies and gentlemen, if you find yourself shaming me while I try to sing karaoke,
What do you say we both just leave?
if you find yourself smoking 2 packs a day and not getting lung cancer, if you find yourself visiting the snow monkeys in Nagano,
Am I that difficult to read?
well then, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you that my name is Justin Robert Young. And as always, I wish you a good week. But more than that, I hope at bare minimum, you please don't.
Shout back at me. Do you like the way y'all dressed up? Do you like how your hair gets cut? Do you like when your friends fuck up? Don't you think you have had enough? I'll read more advice till something sounds nice, but line by line just shines back at me.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.